What is up, gents? World top 40k player, Dirtbag Nation with a Recon Marine, Keevil. We're going to be doing a video live for you guys today. I have a little break in between my day, so I wanted to get out to everybody trying to get some ideas on Chaos Space Marines going off in 11th edition. I'm super pumped. I think a lot of armies in 11th edition is going to be insane, and Chaos Space Marines are one of them. There's a lot of different lists. I'm not going to go over obviously the most popular, like pack-bound zealots and stuff like that. It's going to be kind of like off the cuff and kind of like list ideas and how to kind of like put my head on your head so that way you guys can build lists in 11th edition. So we can start off. I'll be here if you have any questions. Post them in the chat so that way we can go over it. If you guys have any ideas or list building combos that you really want to try out on the table for 11th edition, we'll do that as well. And then haven't decided yet, but there is a new members only live stream, which is pretty sick. Engage your audience. It says members only live stream. Schedule with live to switch to members. That's pretty cool. So we might do that at the end for the last list. But we got 5 or 6 lists today to go over. We'll be going over all of that. And also some ideas on the reference guide. I just updated this today for us as well. So yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, thanks for clicking on the video. We do have some merch in the description below. Right here. So all of these are up for sale in the description below. If you guys want to check out any of the t-shirts or hats, we have the backwards fitted hats. Those are sick. Always love seeing those at the RTT and GTs. What's up, gents? So let's get into the first list. Let me close this, and we got the app up right before the flight. Hell yeah! All right, so yeah, I got 3 hours for lunch as well. So we're gonna probably spend an hour in this video, and then I actually might be doing a collab as well with Garrett. So we'll be going over some Grey Knight stuff next, so that might be the next video coming up on the Patreon. All right, so yeah, let's just fucking dive right in. We got Night Lords. I ran Night Lords in the first live stream up on the channel. I think a week ago against Keevil. Was it against Keevil? No, it was against Jack. So I ran Night Lords with ACDC. It was a illegal list, so I changed that and I just went into Night Lords. So Night Lords with ACDC was freaking insane. So then we're going to try Night Lords with an ACDC brick because it is insane. But I tried it in a guard with strictly Night Lords and some demons. So the pinks are just fucking dumb in 11th edition. I think pinks are going to be brutal to deal with in 11th edition. Then also there's a character you can add to the pinks. Which is the change caster lets you shoot and force a battle shock test, which didn't really come up because I think it's non. No, I think it's anybody. Yeah, it's infantry only, so you can't force it on. You can't force it on vehicles and stuff. But we have this guy. Is it Fate Skimmer? No, not that guy. Right here. Flux Master. So you're adding this guy to the pinks unit, and this lets you subtract 1 from the hit roll always. So not only are you going to be in cover with the -1 ballistic skill, and then this added to the unit, it's -1 to hit. So they're always going to be hitting on essentially -2. That's insane. And that's also in melee as well. So they upped his points because they knew that anything with -1 to hit is going to be just dumb. But his points now are 80. I think it's 100 points if you want to add the enhancement. This is supposed to update. Yeah, I think the Chaos Cult, not the Chaos Cult, the Nightmare Hunt. Right here. So Nightmare Hunt. Change caster 60. This guy's 80, so it's a 20-point difference. I mean, 80 points for -1 to hit always seems really freaking good. So that is the list that we tried out. That was really good. And then I'm going to take out the pinks and add the ACDC brick. All right, so first off, we're going to start off with the Cabal of Chaos. This Yeah, we're going to go over Felheimer. Don't worry. Felheimer is freaking insane. So, Cabal of Chaos with Nightmare Hunt. Cabal of Chaos is the sorcerer one, where if you have a Psyker, you can get +1 to strength. And then if you have the sorcerer, it's like +1 AP. It's a really good combo. But I also do it for the Demon Prince, because a Demon Prince walking in this attachment gives you cover. Just built-in cover. So that way everything within 6 inches is infantry, which is -1 ballistic skill, just built in. It's going to be really good with Felheimer as well. And then Nightmare Hunt. So Chaos Lower Jump Pack, Warp Feud Thrusters, going up and downy. I don't know if this is needed as much now, because you're not really going to be doing a ton of actions. Like spending 110 points for a character to uppy downy. It is really good with the Raptors, because then you come down with an 8 and then shoot something. But you can't come down and force like the Battle Shock, because their Battle Shock thing is 6 inches for Raptors, so it doesn't really combine too well with that. But we are adding him with the uppy downy, so that way you at least have an option. So, and also I don't think you can do it you can't rapid turn 1 anymore, so you can't like bring them up turn 1 with the Warp Sounds, which we found out, and then I wanted to rapid them back in on turn 1. Can't do that, so that kind of sucked. But a second Chaos Lord with the Surcent Vulture. This is the one where he can be added to the Warp Talons. Dude, the Death Guard. I have to do a video on that as well, because the Death Guard look really fucking good too. All right, so let's jump back a little. So this guy gets to go with the Warp Talons. I can't find anywhere that new enhancement that you can actually add the Warp Talons to the leader, just because he got the demon keyword. So if somebody can link me that in the description where that link is, I'd love to do that, because he gains the keyword demon, but it doesn't say that unless they fact it. I can't find the fact anywhere. All right, so then we got the Dark Commune. This unit is scary, because in this attachment they can fall back and charge. So 1 CP, that unit that you're basically trying to tie up as much as possible can then fall back and charge, and everything within 12 inches of that unit, all spread out, tagging up as much people as possible. They're going to be -1 to hit essentially always. And then if you keep one of them within 6 inches of the Demon Prince, now they're -1 ballistic skill and -1 hit if they're tagging something. And if you need to fall back and charge, you can still fall back and charge. And they still have the Horde move. So all of that combined with this one unit is freaking scary. So it lets you just attach it in the app. The Warp Talon, Warp Strike Champions enhancement. You can drop it in turn early and still drop them on turn 1. Yeah, but I just wanted to wrap it. So I moved them up. I killed something turn 1 on my turn, because I went first. And then I brought them back into reserves. And then on his turn, right, bottom of 1, I couldn't rapid back in, which is kind of what I was doing with them prior. But yeah, the Scout 6 is just insane. So Dark Commune, Scout 6, and being able to join Raptors. But the Dark Commune with the ACDC brick is just stupid. Heretic Sardi's Demon Prince. This guy actually has a ability now. The enhancement that is 20 points, but you subtract 1 and force a battle shock at the start of the fight phase. So each enemy unit within engager range of the bearer must make a fight battle shock step. So not only do the Raptors force it, but this guy specifically forces it as well. So you can make him Zinch if you want some shots, or you can make him Slaanesh to go speed 10 and charge him from really far away. I like Nurgle as well, -1 or +1 toughness. So you have a toughness 11 Demon Prince. That's just kind of like chilling in the back, buffing everybody. And then when you do get into combat, you're still toughness 11. So it's really just your play style. Are you going to use them to be really aggressive at speed 10 for the Slaanesh? You don't really get any other bonuses. Are you going to be kind of tanky with toughness 11, which is very good? Or do you want to just shoot kind of like super far away, because he still has the lone op 12 built in. So as long as he's within 3 inches of an infantry model, he gets lone op 12, so you can still shoot 24 inches away, 6 shots, hitting on 2s, AP 1, which is good now, 2 damage. So I like the Zinch. I'm doing the Zinch. But yeah, and also forcing the battle shock is just another way to get the battle shock at the start of the fight phase. And engaging range 2 inches now, so you can basically roll to see where you charge into 2 or 3 things if you really want to, force a battle shock step, and then consolidate or pile in and go attack something. We need our action monkeys, so we have 3 10-man cultists, one of them in the backfield on the home field screening, one in the top left to try and move up and stay hidden, and make that one sticky. And then the other one is just going to be in reserves. There's a lot of actions that you need to be like in your opponent's deployment area in no man's land, so that way they come on, they just kind of walk in. 8-inch reserves is really scary now. It's almost impossible to block out. Like, I was so used to blocking out with every list I made with Chaos Cold and Orcs and Kroot and everything. Now you kind of just ignore it. You're like, dude, you're gonna come in. I can't really stop it. I just don't want you to come in over here, so I'm gonna put most of my shit over here. You can come in over there. I can't block out the whole board, so you can reserve over there, whatever. So I've the third one in reserves, just walking on and doing something. Then of course we have our Cursed Cultists, 195 points. They did up them in our AC/DC list, where like if you have 3 of them, they're really fucking expensive. So yeah, that's not really fun, but they still hit hard as fuck. We have 3 units of Raptors. They're beefy boys. I just ran them, and having 3 heavy weapons in one unit is kind of scary. Like, the first 2 to die are just the Melta and Plasma. You're like, hey, I got 1 round of shooting from them. Then I charge in, I do all the heavy weapons. They hit lethals, right? Lethal or sustain. You're hitting on 3s, lethals or sustains, and then wounding on 3s, 2s if they're battle shocked. That's gonna freaking hurt. So this was actually really, really good. The new change of the Raptors. But we're bringing them in this detachment because of the 6-inch aura for the -1 leadership test. And that's not just for battle shocks, it's leadership together. So it's just any leadership test taken -1 leadership. So if they have anything they have to do on their turn, like Grey Knights, they have to do a leadership test, demons, all that stuff, like it's always -1 leadership. So that's a bonus to just not just being battle shocked, it's leadership and battle shock -1. And it's an aura, so everything within 6 inches. But at the beginning of the fight phase, which if you look at the order of activation, when you charge in, that procs the beginning of the fight phase. So basically you charge into whatever you roll. Like, let's say you roll 7, you can get into at least 2 different units in engager range. Then those 2 units at the beginning of the fight phase, before you pile in, have to do a battle shock test. So basically you charge into 2 or 3 different units, whatever you can. They all have to take a battle shock test at -1. If you have any other bonuses like blue horrors and stuff like that, it's going to be -2. So then basically they're all going to be battle shocked. And then on your pile-in step, you then pile into the units that you really want to kill, as long as you stay in engager range of the other ones. And then you just murder them at +1 to wound. So the +1 built in to wound is why I'm bringing this attachment over the 1 detachment point upgrade. The +1 to wound is just freaking insane. Melee and shooting. It's really, really good. So then we got our 10 Warp Talons. They're led by the Lord. Being able to pile in and consolidate 6 inches is kind of nuts. That works for that, as well as the other Lord with one of the Raptors. But you charge in, you tag the unit you really want to charge, and then you can pile in 6 just super far away, because you only have to end within engage range of the unit that you charged. So it just says a unit, not the model by model. In 10th edition, we're used to going model by model. Now it's the unit. So you can basically pile in 6 around and get into engager range of potentially something else, and then attack that. So it's so much movement in the charge, pile in, and then consolidate phase as well. So they're super scary. And if obviously they kill something, they go back into reserves. We got to bring our blue horrors. A lot of people ask me about blue horrors, but blue horrors are insanely good. They're good in a lot of chaos lists, honestly. They infiltrate. They have a 4 pinfall and save. They bring like little yellows back on a 4+. They have a -1 leadership built-in aura. They're just really good. So 125 points compared to the 110 points for the Raiders. It's not even the same thing. Like 4 pinfall and save built in, and they can get the hidden and -1 ballistic skill. They're just super annoying to deal with. And with this list, they combo really well with the Raptors. So basically, you're infiltrating them, waiting till your go turn, and then when your go turn happens, you just move them up, charge something, or run something forward, and then you putting as many of their units in this 6-inch aura as you possibly can. Because as whatever you can get in their 6-inch aura on their turn, their battle shock step, they're -2, just built in. Like, as long as they took a wound in that unit or in the tank, they have to take a battle shock step. So sometimes you're just throwing like random like wounds all over the place, so that way everybody becomes battle shocked. And then anything that's battle shocked on their turn, they shoot you, they're -1 to hit. Or not the demons, but all your Chaos Space Marines, they're -1 to hit you. So if you're in cover and built-in -1 to hit, you have a flat -2 to shoot across the board. That's why the blue horrors are so good, because they infiltrate. They're already like basically forward in the fray. If they move up something, you're able to move them up and charge and swing into their lines, which actually we did that against the guard player. If you guys want to check that video out, we got 2 Noise Marines units. They're really good with their weapons. The -1 or ignoring cover. So ignoring the -1 ballistic skill, always hitting on 3s. You put one of them in the Rhino, so that way the Rhino can do the Dark Pact and you get a little bit more bonuses from them. But their weapons, their profile in their datasheet, you can pick something and then choose that unit to be -1 leadership until the start of the next shooting phase. So basically you shoot them and then they're -1 leadership now, right? If you're going to charge in with Raptors or your Demon Prince, force a battle shock test, they're -1, -2, -3 with the horrors. Max leadership, I think, now is 8. So they're basically going to get up to 8 like pretty easily. And then they have to do a battle shock test at -1 with their aura or with their stack. You can also do it like randomly. So if you want like their big guns to shoot something and then one random shot going over to there, because you have a bunch of weapons with these guys. So the range weapons, I think, is 18. You have 6 shots with the Blastmasters. You have 3 shots with the other ones. So 3 shots, you can just have one guy shoot 3 shots into something that you really want to force battle shock, and then everything else can shoot the unit that you really want to kill. So that way that unit that you kill, whatever, but the one that you really want to force the -1 leadership with the Raptors are about to go into, or the Demon Prince, that one is -1 because you get to pick, right? It says, in your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks. So you hit 2 different units, you're going to pick that unit, force them to do a -1 leadership test. It's leadership and battle shock, so that's great. So that's why we have 2 units of Noise Marines. They're 145 points, but they are very, 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 very good because you ignore all the ballistic skill modifiers. And then the Changeling. Changeling was so busted. If you guys haven't looked at the Changeling, let's look at the Changeling. You guys are going to be like, what the fuck is this model? The points went up. It was actually lower. I think it was 90 points. Now it's 105 points because they know how busted it is. Let's go to the Changeling. He's so cool. It's just a solo dude running around, not really doing anything. He's the Changeling. He's the T. So the Changeling. Abilities. It's got a pretty good range attack too. D6 plus 3, auto hitting, AP1, strength 6, AP1, D3 damage. That's pretty sick. And then he's not a monster vehicle, so you do hazardous almost every single time. He just does 1 mortal wound to himself. Sure, I have 5 fucking chances to kill myself, right? Throughout the game. The melee is kind of the same, not as good, but the shooting, auto hitting is really good. All right, he's blown up, stealth, so that adds even in cover or out in the cover. He still has the -1 ballistic skill. But here's this thing. You basically could run him forward, and then at the start of your opponent's shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 12 inches and visible to this unit. So you could just literally pick anything within 12 inches of you. You roll a 2+. On a 2 through a 5, that unit's -1 to shoot. Everything, right? So each time on the unit makes an attack, -1 to hit. So until the end of the phase, yeah. So until the end of the shooting phase, -1 to hit that unit. So it stacks with everything, right? So you're getting cover, -1 to hit with this thing. And then if you have if they're battle shocked, right, they're also -1 to hit as well. So if they have any pluses to hit, they're still -2. It's so fucking good. But this came up. I rolled a 6 against a pony unit that was really close to me. I rolled a 6 and that unit could not shoot. So he was going to throw a grenade with his unit, but the unit has to be eligible to shoot. So since I rolled a 6, that unit is no longer eligible to shoot, so he can't throw a grenade, which is pretty funny. It didn't really matter. But still, you just take that shooting off the fucking turn. So if you do this in like a Baneblade or like a Titan or something like that, you just like roll up and be like, nope. And then that whole friggin' Titan just can't do shit. That's one caveat. The second caveat is if they choose to shoot you, they have to do a battle shock test. So battle shock test, when you're stacking all this other extra shit to it, if they're near the blue horrors, it's -1. If they're near the Raptors, it's -1. If they got shot by the Noise Marines last turn, it's -1. They're basically forcing a battle shock. If they fail the battle shock test, not only are they battle shocked, or if they're already battle shocked, but they're battle shocked again, and they can't target that unit. So you just can't shoot them. So this guy's just chilling there right in the open, literally can't be shot. And there's no cap. It just says each time an enemy unit wishes to select this model. So you have to be within 12. So you're already close. You're probably in the fray of my entire army. So there's ores everywhere. And then you're -2 ballistic skill. So that's kind of nuts, guys. That is why this guy is in the list, and he will never be out of the list. 105 points, starting off with the list every single time. So let me know what you think about that. Yeah, this is the Noise Marine list, or this is the Night Lord ACDC test, because I think the ACDC is going to be really good with this detachment. So yeah, that is the first one. So what do you think about that? Second one, let's get into it. So second one is Vastor Soulforge. Now, with the Defilers going up, there's a lot of stuff we have to change. The Defilers aren't going to be, I would say, as important, as scary, because the full rerolls is going away. And then the Overwatch, you only hit on 6s, but you can't reroll it. So that is basically how we died last time. So no rerolls, you're basically just trying to roll 6s. You can still lethal and sustain, essentially, but going from like 1 shot, maybe potentially, to like 4 shots because of the rerolls was a detriment. Like I played Chaos Cult, or I played Cult of Speed Orcs into a triple Defiler Pact Bound in a teams event, and every time I moved a unit out to go do something, he would just overwatch that one unit that he really wanted to and just delete him off the board. 6 bikes gone, 6 copters gone, 6 bikes and a lord down to 1 wound, just dead, right? So that sucked. That's gone. So we have to figure out, are we going to keep the Defilers in this type of list? Probably 1 would be fine. 2 might be overkill, and then 3 is just dead now. You're never running 3 Defilers anymore. All right, so this is the Cabal of Chaos with the Soulforge War Pact. He gives us the option for Disruption or Purge the Foe. So Purge the Foe with, I think, Cabal lets you just bring Purge the Foe anywhere. Because even if you don't bring any Psychers or stuff like that, you can still just bring 1 detachment point just for the mission, which actually I think they went over in one of Trevi's videos where the Custodes player just brought a 1-point detachment just for Purge the Foe. I was like, that actually makes sense. So this is kind of like the same thing. But we got Cypher. Cypher isn't needed as much now, but he's still a 90-point piece that could really, fuck shit up. So with Cypher, he also still has a Vect. I think you still get to choose when they do the strat. You're like, nope, that strat's going to cost an extra CP, and they still, I think, spend it. So they still lost their CP by doing it. So you have to remember Cypher's there. You have to remember that he has the Vect, and then you just picks one that he really wants to pick each turn. So he's still annoying. He still has Lone Op 12. He still has really good guns. He hits on 2s. He could Dark Pact. And also, the AP1 and AP3 is really freaking good. So I still like him in a lot of lists. He's 90 points. I think he's still worth it. Vastor is huge buff now, because let's click open Vastor, guys. Vastor is, he went up in points, but he deserved it. I played him at the tournament as well, and damn, he is freaking strong. Not only does he force the hazardous if they target him with shots, but he's always -1 to hit. So if you give him cover somehow and you get the -1 to hit always, he's just always -2 to hit. Still has Lone Up 12. Still buffs demon vehicles within 6 inches. And each time an enemy unit within 18 inches of this model targets model, subtract 1 from the hit roll. That's melee and shooting. And until the end of the phase, each enemy unit's range weapons has a hazardous ability. So any tanks, right, going to shoot at them, they're -2 to hit most of the time, and then they're going to be hazardous as well, so they're just 3 damage every single time they roll a 1 or a 2. That's freaking scary. And then he has the Lone Op 12 ability. So yeah, he is a huge upgrade with the -1 in this new 11th edition, and his melee and range weapons just fuck up vehicles. So you're just basically rolling 12 attacks, hitting on 2s with sustains, and then any 4s, it's just flat 2 damage against vehicles. Like he literally he killed, I think, 5 Coptas without really doing anything. He just like moved up, charged them, and then just like killed all my Coptas. I was like, oh, this guy's cool. So yeah, that Vastor is still really good. So Vastor in this attachment just buffs up the entire detachment. We have our Warpsmith with the tempting out of whatever, and then the McKendrels. What the fuck does that one do? One of them I think is the +4 speed, and the other one is the full rerolls. Okay, so this one, the tempting, is the full rerolls within 3 inches of this model. It's an oval base model, so you can kind of like move up, turn sideways, get lone op himself if he's within demon vehicle, and then he has a 3-inch aura. Everything within that gets full rerolls to hit. So this is kind of like the same as Packbound without bringing Abaddon, but full rerolls to hit with sustain lethal with the Hellbrute is still really freaking strong. And then with the Soul Forge, when you do the Dark Path, you're getting +1 to wound. So everything in your army, full rerolls to hit, as long as you're within 3 inches of this guy. Lethal sustain within 6 inches of the Hellbrute, +2 strength because of Vashdor, and then +1 to wound. So most of the time you're winning big shit on 2s, which is fucking nuts. So that's why this guy is there. He can buff +1 to hit against a vehicle and also heal them in the command phase. So he's a healer, buffer, and full rerolls to hit. I tried this guy with a Lord of Skulls. Really cool. Worked. But when the Lord of Skulls died, Lord of Skulls is D6 +2 blast explosion, which I rolled a 6, and then I killed my own guy. So learned my lesson there. It's fun, but you just kill your own Warpsmith if it blows up, and which is not fun. Because once that Warpsmith died, it takes away most of the killing power of the list, which is bad. Okay, so that's that. And then the second Warpsmith is just +4 speed. So that way he can just keep up with everything. He's kind of like just running around, keeping up with all the Venom Crawlers. Add 4 speed, so he's speed 10. Speed 10 Warpsmith running around. All right, so then we got Cultist for some action monkeys. 1 in the backfield, 1 kind of moving up in the expansion to keep hidden within 12, and then doing actions on the top left objective. 2 bikes, same thing for objectives. They still get the cover if they're behind the dense terrain. They're just good action monkeys, really quick. We have 2 predators, 1 being the Annihilator, which is the gets to reroll the damage against vehicles. So he's going to be wounding most vehicles on 2s. You can turn him into a demon for 1 CP in the command phase, which then you can then get +1 to wound by shooting shit. So he's got 2 last cannons, which are strength 12 if he's demon, strength 14, and then his strength 14 twin-linked Predator last cannon, strength 14 going up to strength 16. So essentially, you're going to be wounding everything on 2s. And it's D6 +1, but you get to reroll the damage roll against monsters and vehicles. So he will pop a lot of stuff, especially with AP3 and not ignoring cover anymore. You can give AP4 for a CP. So in the command phase, first thing you make him a demon. Move up, set up. Next turn, you do +1 AP. So everything is AP4. So you're basically just taking everything through. Like, unless it's a 2-up save vehicle, he's just not going to have a save. And then 3d6 if you wound all of them. But let's just say lethal sustain. And then 3d6 +3 that you get to reroll. So average 10. So average 13 damage, getting to reroll it, probably up to like 15. So you're doing 18 damage on average. Yeah, that seems pretty fucking good. So that's just one thing, just flat doing 18 damage. Then the second one is the Predator Destructor. This is the infantry one, so +1 AP built in, which I think they should have done for all of the Predators. Like all Chaos Space Marine Predators should have had this. The Death Guard you have to shoot, and then the next thing gets +1 AP, and then all the other armies like something different. I think if you just make this thing the same for Chaos, anytime he shoots an infantry unit, just +1 AP. So all of his guns hit really fucking hard. +2 AP against infantry on everything, and then I don't think I have the last cannons. Yeah, I want this guy to mainly be heavy bolters, so that way he's AP2 2 damage, 36-inch range. So he is just messing up infantry all over the place. And we do have a Defiler, because it is a Defiler. It still shoots really, really good. But he's not going to be as aggressive now. He's got to get his points back. He's 320 points. So he's got to kill like a knight or do a shit ton of damage to a big unit. Again, with this detachment, you're full rerolls to hit, full rerolls to wound once per game. So he's still able to like wound everything on 2s. But he just has to hit you. Once he hits you, you're just going to die. And then you can spend a CP for the +1 AP on this guy instead, but everything's going to wound on 2s. Here, take like 15 AP3 saves on all of your Terminators. You probably kill, let's say, 8 of them. You might have made up your points right there. And then if you have such a line to just like one guy, that way that unit doesn't get -1 ballistic skill, he's going to hit most of his shots anyway. So I think he still can make up his points. Again, if you have 2 of them, probably not. 1 of them, still good, and pretty good in combat as well. So then we have the Hellbrute, because Hellbrute should be in every single list. There's different variations. You could do a melee Hellbrute. You can do a shooting Hellbrute. You have the shooting Hellbrute. He's probably going to get shot. So I'd rather just pick the melee Hellbrute. Flamer, Fist, Scourge, extra attacks. Can move up and charge something late game and then just murder it. And can go through walls if you make him the demon. Yeah, so Hellbrute, you need that in the list. And then 3 Venom Crawlers. Yes, it's an extra 10 points. Who cares? 10 points for 3 Venom Crawlers, speed 12, plus 2 strength. So strength 8, AP 1, 36-inch range, 2 damage. Full rerolls to hit with 12 shots. Lethal sustain. Seems quite good, guys. So their guns is just on a Defiler. So you've basically 1 Defiler and then 3 Venom Crawlers that like he's essentially another Venom Crawler, which is cool. And then ally units, we have the Beast and Nurgle for actions, super hard to kill. Blue Horrors, same thing I talked about before. They're infiltrating, -1 leadership, but they're just there to kind of like keep people back because you have a gun platform, right? So you're going to stay back like pretty much right at the edge of your deployment zone and shoot while your Blue Horrors are trying to keep them off of your guys in combat. Then we have unit Nurglings, just -1 to hit in combat. They're just there to kind of screen, but you have 2 infiltrating and a Beast and Nurgle. And that is our list. This list didn't really change much. I took out the second Defiler and added the Predators. And I think the Beast of Nurgle. That's really the biggest difference. But this list is very, very good in 11th edition. So if you guys like the demons and demon engines, this is the list that you really want to try. Because it's, again, very, very good. Okay. Next list, guys, we got Iron Warriors. This is the list we were talking about. I posted this in Patreon. This is a list I really want to try out because it just buffs everything. Like with the Iron Warriors, let's pull that up in here. Veterans of the Long War I haven't looked at for 11th edition. Warp Strike Champions, super good. Here we go. So it's taking hold, which you could definitely build around that. Each time a range attack targets Heritage Society's units, excluding Damned, so it can't just run 3 ACDC, which sucks. That was the first thing I noticed in 10th. If the starting strength is greater than the toughness, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So it's only range attacks, it's not in melee, but still, you're just going to be so hard to kill on objectives, especially with Terminators. So that is the benefit of that. So -1 to wound. And then a lot of the strats, there's some really good strats in here. You have reroll wounds, reroll hit rolls, and then reroll wounds if they're below half strength. That's the fight phase. You have you do mortal wounds back for every mortal wound they allocate to your unit, which happens to multiple units. So if they have 3 units charged my Terminators, I can put mortal wounds back on every single unit. The shooting phase, 5-up critical hits. Everything gets pistol, excluding blast. So all of your bolters, which gets full rerolls to hit in combat now, is all pistols. So you could definitely murder some shit, especially if you have a, not a Lord, but a Psyker. Because the Psyker, if you bring, this is the Cabal of Chaos. Yep, so you can actually bring a Psyker and they get full rerolls to hit, +1 strength, +1 AP. It's pretty good. And then your shooting phase, here we go. Damned, 5-up Feeling of Pain until the end of the shooting phase. So your Terminators, 2-up, 4-up, probably in cover. -1 to wound, and a 5-up Feeling of Pain at the same time. Like, there's also a blank save for one of the enhancements, so the Lord can bring the enhancement and just blank a save. So this unit isn't. I wish you can bring them back. I wish. Wait, can you can't bring them back unless they're Psyker. Shit, but you can bring them back because of that. So in one of the strats, sorry, let me pull it up here. I'm going to keep that up. I'm going to pull it up on my phone. So in one of the strats for the new Cabal of Chaos, it says 1 Heretic Asari Psyker / Demon unit heals D3 +1. So the enhancement you'd have to either bring a sorcerer, or Heretic Asari's model only. This model has a psychic keyword, and weapons are psychic. So if you get rid of the Bastion plate, which is so freaking good. Iron Warriors. So yeah, the Bastion plate is on the Lord right now. It's 10 points. Once per battle round, when a saving throw is failed, so after you failed it, you can change a damage characteristic to 0. So I mean, it's an even trade if you just do touched by the warp, which means they're psychers. I mean, that's fucking so good. So yeah, I think I would take out the Bastion plate and just add that unit as a psycher, because then you get to bring back D3 plus 1 wounds for free because it's the Lord. And it being a psycher, you can get plus 1 strength. Yeah, all their weapons are plus 1 strength. So basically, strength 5 bolters everywhere, full rerolls to hit, lethal or sustain. Yeah, that's freaking good. Okay, and then subtract 2 from the charge roll. So if they come in, they need a 9, right? If they have any 6-inch charges or drop in within 6, like Death Shroud Terminators need a 7 now, which is a huge difference. So if I spend 2 CP on Death Shroud Terminators, they need a 9 again, which is just dumb. So start of your opponent's charge phase. Until the end of the phase, each enemy is selected a target. So you have to choose like where they're going to be doing it. So you have to kind of like do this ahead of time before they declare the charge. But you can kind of assume if they're like, all right, I really want to get into that Terminator brick. I'm just going to like, before he starts rolling, I'm going to say, hey, this Terminator brick is -2 to charge. So whatever you roll, +2. Can't stack strats. Chaos Space Marine is easier to build than Chaos Knights. Can't stack strats anymore. Yeah, you can't stack them anymore, but I mean, a lot of these are in different phases. So as long as they're in different phases, you can do it. But yes, and then this is the Iron Warriors one. This is a different. Okay, this is a different list than I have here. No, okay, so this is the same one. All right, so we got Horon in Iron Warriors with his 10 chosen. Is it 10? I think I have 10 with this one. No, so 5 chosen, Horon, Master of the Maelstrom in a Rhino is just so many freaking wounds. Are they psychic? So I haven't run Masters in a while. So psychic. Are Masters of the Maelstrom psychic? Probably. Yeah, so they get it. So all of their weapons are +1 strength, and they get to bring back D3 +1 models, plus they can bring back 1 as well. So that unit's going to be so freaking hard to kill. That's why it's going to be really good in Iron Warriors. You can do the 5-up Feel No Pain if you want for that unit. They're just so many different wounds. You can have so many different speed rolling orders, right? With the 5-up Feel No Pain. And then in your turn, you can just bring a guy back and then spend a CP and bring back D3 +1 wounds. So bring back multiple guys. It's such a good combo. Okay, so Horon with the Masters of Maelstrom with a 5-man chosen unit. And then we have the Chaos Lord Terminator armor with the Bastion plate, taking it out for a either keeping this if you're going to spend the +1 to bring back guys in your Terminator Sorcerer brick, or in your Horon brick. So technically it's not, probably keep the Bastion plate, but if you really want to bring back the Terminator, you can bring it back. Cypher up in the air, still have to test them in 11th edition. Sorcerer and Terminator armor for the +1 AP, and this enhancement right here, Warp Tracer gets rid of cover. So in your shooting phase, after the bearer has shot, so he has to shoot them. Select one enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, enemies do not benefit of cover. So it just gets rid of cover altogether from a unit that you shot at. The Sorcerer has its really good weapon, so it's D6 Eternal Gaze, which is strength 7 now, AP2, D3 shots, but it's only D6 shots. And then he's got, you probably want to bring the Combi Bolter with him, because it gives you 4 shots, 4 rerolls to hit if you're bringing the Terminators. But shoot a unit, get rid of cover, good to go. 2 Cultist units, Chaos Rhino for the Horon brick, a Cursed Cultist to scout the Rhino up, which is pretty funny. So Cursed Cultist start on the Rhino. Rhino then scouts up. Cursed Cultist then can get out and go do something while Huron's Brick runs into the Rhino. So that's the trade-off, right? Cursed Cultists just kind of run forward and just go be annoying, or hang back and get cover or get hidden and just do actions. Because they still have the Horde move, so like if you move forward, charge something, pile in, and then if they fall back, you still have a Horde move, so you're still going to be super annoying. They don't have any -1 buffs because they are damned. Still. Bikes, really good in this attachment. Predator, 10 big Terminators, 5 little Terminators. So you have the 10 big Terminators with the Lord, and then 5 little Terminators with the Sorcerer. So that unit's going to be super hard to track down. And then we have 1 unit of Red Corsair Raiders. So I think it's exactly 2,000 points. Yeah, exactly 2,000 points. So not a lot of wiggle room, but these guys being able to give you Infiltrate. With the scout move, you actually have some threat turn 1 to go do something. These guys being 3 wounds, -1 to wound, and you can do the 5 feeling pain on them early game, so that way they're really annoying to deal with early game. But yeah, these guys are pretty cool. I didn't add any of the weapons, so if you guys are looking at the weapons, like just do the normal weapons you guys usually do on them. I don't think I added any weapons here, but just bring the Melta and all that fun stuff. Cool. So that's the second list, or third list. Then we have Chaos Colts. And that, so 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 more. Shit. Okay, so 3 more lists to go. The last one, I think I will test out the new members. So if you guys are members, thanks for supporting the channel. If you guys want to pause, head over to Patreon. You guys can support the channel on Patreon. If you guys want to join the membership, you get all these videos ahead of time on the members only tab. There are specific videos up on members. When I do some coaching, I'm going to be putting that up on members only. And all of our podcasts are going to be on the members tab as well. So appreciate the support, guys. Let's get back into this. If you guys know me, we are known for the Chaos Cult. So if you guys ever heard of the Chaos Cult, this is where it originated from. So we have the third Chaos Cult list up here. Chaos Cult in 11th edition is really good for the new anything. Like literally whatever list you want to build for Chaos Cult, it's going to be good for 11th edition. It's fucking insane. Disruption, I tested it out with. So if there's any way you can get Disruption in Chaos Cult, which I don't know if there is. Oh, look at that. Priority assets or... Shit, is that it? Priority assets? I don't know. The Disruption is the only one I tested, but Disruption with Chaos Cult, what I tested was very, very good. So Purge the Foe, Priority Assets I haven't tested yet. I don't know anything about it. But Chaos Cult, fucking insane. Let's get into why it's insane. So we have Cypher, because Cypher is the Lone Up, Action Monkey, Vect, or so like if they're trying to use Armor Contempt, you kind of run him forward and stop that Armor Contempt from being used. Because all of our shit's AP1. We are bringing a Dark Apostle still. He is the Amulet of the Vigor, which is able to bring back D3 bodyguard models. So you can bring back, if 3 big guys are dead and you roll a 3, you can actually bring back 3 big mutants, which just gives you an additional 9 wounds back to your list. Then we have the Dark Commune, which both these guys are Psychers. So if we're bringing the Cabal Chaos Cult with the Cabal of whatever, that's probably the Purge the Foe one. What is Cabal? Cabal is Disruption. There you go. So Cabal with Disruption, you can run Disruption with Chaos Cult and have fun with it. But you get to bring back D3 plus 1 models in the Psyker unit. So both of these Accursed Cultist units are Psychers because of the Dark Commune. So you can bring back D3 bodyguard models with this guy and D3 plus 1 models with the Dark Commune in this unit. So you basically can just res more like we used to be able to in 9th edition. But you can res more guys to get closer to the enemy and just go fuck up their shit. With the Horde move. Dumb. All right, so we have one of them with the Goad, and then the other one with the Warp Foresight. So this is the one with the Scout, so still Scout 6, and then this is the one with the +1 Strength. So you basically hit that next tier of wounding Toughness 11 models. So Toughness 10 and Toughness 11. So Toughness 10, our guys only Strength 5. So we're going to be wounding them on 6 down to 5s, and then anything Toughness 11 right? You're going to strength 6, you're going to move on 5s down to 4. So this unit is the one that's coming in from reserves, and they could be the ones that can actually kill vehicles because of that break point. There is a +1 strength strat, which I don't usually use a lot. I usually use just the full rerolls to hit, full rerolls to wound if you pass a battle shock test. So that's the main one that you're going to be using the CP for. But we still have our triple ACDC brick, very expensive, but still hits really hard. We have our Demon Prince. This guy is new to the list. This guy actually gives cover. Benefit of cover every infantry unit within 6 inches. So we just tag one model within 6 inches of the Demon Prince, so that way both of our ACDC bricks are just in cover always. So even if they're in the middle of fucking nowhere, they are -1 ballistic skill, and if they're tagging a unit, they're -1 to hit. So always, 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 you're going to try and keep them to the -1 to hit in getting shot at, even from tanks. So if you tag a tank, that tank is -1 to hit, they're in cover, -2 to hit that unit with the ACDC brick. So that is the goal of this list, is just keep every single ACDC brick in cover as much as possible. The Sorcerer, +1 EP, so come down, keep them lone op, keep them hidden. You don't have to shoot, just kind of 2 up, try and make that thing +1 AP, so that way when you charge in, you're AP2 on all of your stuff, AP1 on all the little guys. Works with guns as well. So I think I have the Terminator brick in this one. Yeah. So the Sorcerer is leading a Terminator brick, because now that Terminator brick, if they do come down, you can shoot at something, full rerolls to hit. The Terminator, I think, gives full rerolls. Terminator Sorcerer. Terminator Sorcerer gives... Now, anything with rerolls in 11th edition is kind of busted, because you can't use a strat and reroll at the same time because it's the same phase. So this guy, while leading unit, reroll advances and charges for this unit. So you can try and come down and make a 9-inch charge, free reroll as well. But he's leading unit, so in this attachment you get +1 strength. So all of his bolters, right? All of the unit's bolters is strength 5, AP1 if you're shooting at the target that you debuffed. Full rerolls to hit. Like it's a pretty chunky unit, and you can bring back D3 +1 Terminators if you want to use that strat on this unit instead of the ACDC brick. So hard hitting unit, super hard to kill. You can sack wounds off onto other units as well. I forgot about that strat. So it's 1 CP, anything within 3 inches visible to the enemy shooting unit. You can sack the wounds off as dev to that unit. So let's say you have a 10-man cultist brick that is just kind of chilling there. You don't really need them anymore. They shoot your Terminator brick. You're like, you know what? 1 CP. All of the wounds are automatically going to wound, and I'm going to soak up some wounds on this this unit over here. Once they all die, then it goes back to the Terminator brick, but at least you have 10 extra wounds that you just took on over there. Probably not going to kill all 5 Terminators. And then in your turn, you're able to res D3 +1 back and then move up and go do something. So tanky unit. Then we got 1, 2, 3 cultist units, 1 in the backfield, 1 on the expansion, and then 1 in reserves. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 traded guardsman units. So these guys are probably going to be 2 on the table, maybe 3, because you're going to kind of like move up and do actions. So maybe 3 on the front lines, and then probably 2 in reserves, so that we can just keep bringing on guys and just keep doing stuff most of the game. Then we have our triple ACDC brick, so it's 195 points, 215, 215. So they added the extra points for the second unit. I'm sorry, probably my fault. Trade the Terminator unit, and then just a 3-man Nurgle unit because we had extra points. So if you bring 45, 55, 65, you have 65 points technically if you take out the Nurglings and downgrade a trader guard to a regular guard. So you have 65 points to play around with. You can either keep the Nurglings, keep the way it is, or have 65 points left over for something else. Which I don't know what you would want to bring, but hey, there's 65 points. If it's 70, that would be great. Am I at 1995? I am 1995? So we might have 70 points left over? Yeah, so you can get rid of the... Yeah, I don't know. You have 70 points left over to play around with. That is our Chaos Cult list, guys. Still really good if you guys want to test it out and you have the models, test it out. It's just insane 11th edition. So we might throw this down on the table if I can find any opponent that wants to play it. It's kind of hard because they kind of know what we do with Chaos Cult. And it's not a fun game if you don't know what it does. It is good to test against because it's Horde. It's like one of the best Horde lists on the market. But if you have a person that wants good test games into Horde, you can run this list and both have fun. If you're just running it just to run an RTT, you're not gonna have fun. Your opponent's not gonna have fun. It's just not a fun list. But if you want to bring it to a GT and just fuck everybody's shit up, do that. Pack Bound, we're probably not going to cover in this one. If you guys are interested and you are over on the Patreon, let me know. But the Pack Bound, it's 3 CP, like it's 3 detachment points. Anything you run in Pack Bound is going to be good. It's just, it's the most popular one, guys. You don't really need to talk about that one. And what you didn't try to add normal sorcerer to a Fellhammer list, 2 hint +1 to wound, so you can regenerate strat seems like a good fit. Yeah, so we do have a sorcerer in that list I just went over, but the Lord lets you do the free strat. So there's a lot of good strats in that attachment, so I really want to do the Lord for the free strat, but you can also just make the strat sorcerer. So if you get rid of the one enhancement for him and add the Psyker enhancement, he's now technically a sorcerer. So that way you can kind of like get all the free bonuses and bring your Terminators back. All right, so let's go over this one I'm super excited for. So this is 60 Legionnaires. I technically think it's 50 Legionnaires, but 60 Legionnaires, Horon Marauders. So I was going to do at least 1 3 detachment point for you guys, and this detachment's kind of like Creations of Bile, but not Creations of Bile. This could be a Creations of Bile list, though. So I don't know if we have our Creations of Bile list up. Okay, essentially it's the same thing. Creations of Bile and Horon copy. Yeah, so you can literally just run this list as a Creations of Bile list. And it's basically going to be the same thing. But Horon Marauder, everything hits on 2s now. And can fall back, shoot, and charge. So very, very scary. So with this list, it is Disruption. So you have to basically figure out how to play Disruption with this list. But Creations of Bile also is 3 detachment points, so it's even trade. All right, so we have Masters of Maelstrom. They're so freaking good. We have Legionnaires. So it's Masters of Maelstrom leading the Legionnaires. They're battle line, so 4 rerolls to wound when people are on objectives or objective terrain features. Then we have Abaddon for the 4-up invuln save. I did play. Yeah, priority assets is very, very fucking awkward. I did play Abaddon against Abaddon and this list similar at the GT, and it was just so annoying. Like Abaddon by himself, giving the 4-up invuln to everything around him, like literally the entire army, was just so hard. In 11th edition, having a 4-up invuln save is just busted because cover now is just gone, right? You're just gaining a buff by getting -1 ballistic skill. But the 4-up invuln saves are still there. So anything with AP 2 or more, which is going to be a shit ton now in 11th edition, you're just getting a 4-up invuln save. So you don't even care about anything else. You're just like, my entire army is in cover, hidden if I need to, but in cover, -1 ballistic skill, and a 4-up invuln save. They're just so fucking hard to chew through. That's why this with Creations of Bile is going to be an even trade, because Creations of Bile, you can bring back guys, right? You can just bring back D3. Is it D3 +1 or just D3? Whatever it is, you can bring back guys if they're battle line, which most of the time you're going to bring Legionnaires to make them battle line, and then if you can't compare it with Cabal, never mind. So you can bring back D3 guys with battle line units in Creations of Bile. That's why it's an even trade. So if you run this or Creations of Bile, kind of 2 for 1. So we got Abaddon, Chaos Lord with the Raid Leader. This is pretty funny. So the Raid Leader is the one where you can move up the Rhino, get out, and still charge. So your fucking Rhino is just speed 12, so get up 12, turn it, get out 3, and then still be able to charge. So on turn 1, it just threatens forever. It's so good. Did I add a scout unit in here? I did not. So you could be really cheeky. No, you can't, because you can't get in and get out of the same turn. So I was going to say you can scout up, get in, move up, get out. You can't do that. All right, so raid leader, that's for him. He does each time bear's unit set up on the field disembarking from a transport. Normal move this turn, bear still eligible to declare charge. So him just getting up and getting out, doing a free CP when you get out, do whatever you want, is being led by a legionnaire unit. So he's going to be able to move up, get out, shoot, charge, full rerolls to wound if they're on an objective, which they probably will be, and then you can pile in and go do something else. Or you can save the reactive move to get back into the Rhino. Either or. Probably move forward. Oh, it's a fucking horde move too, so that unit's going to be insane. So move up, get out, charge, kill something, consolidate closer, they fall back, they shoot you, you horde move in. God, that's good. Dark Apostle. So Dark Apostle in 11th edition, huge upgrade for the Dark Apostle. What does Dark Apostle do? Let's pull them up for you guys. Great question, guys. You guys are asking great fucking questions. Chaos Space Marine, Data Sheets, Dark Apostle. Oh, so the Sorcerer walking -1 to hit. Yeah, that guy definitely got a little glow up as well. But if he was a guy to bring like instead of a leader, that'd be cool. Where is he? This guy. So just built in -1 to hit always. Yeah, he's cool. But you're trading his characteristic for something else, like another leader. So I'd rather have like a Lord than a Sorcerer. Yeah, you got to test it, guys. There's so much to test right now. What am I looking up? Looking up Dark Apostle. Dark Apostle, one of my favorite fucking models in the game. Such a badass model. Okay, what does he do? He's leadership 5, first off. So probably never really going to be battle shocked throughout the game. But if he is, once we're battled at the start of any phase, so any time that you want to move up and get something within range, you can select one friendly Heretic Stars unit that is battle shocked and within 12 inches of the Dark Apostle unit, no longer battle shocked. So once per game, you can just unbattle shock a really important unit to charge, whatever it may be, that unit is now unbattle shocked. So that is why he just got a huge glow up in 11th edition. So and he's cheap. I think he's like 65 points. 65 points, like, and not only that, but look at what he does. He gives you 2 guys that have a fucking 4 pinball save, 2 of his little monkey dudes next to him, 4 pinball saves to tank some stuff, and then +1 to wound. So the entire unit has +1 to wound. So if he's leading a unit of Legionnaires, even in Creations of Bile, but Legionnaire unit hitting on 2s, lethal or sustain, and then +1 to wound as well. Full rerolls to wound because of Legionnaires. That unit is fucking scary. And I'm sure there's strats in this attachment that can really, fuck up the opponent. But yeah, guys, that is insane. Most of these people are going to be walking because you're going to have a 4 pinball save, you're going to have cover, you're going to have -1 to hit. Like, all this stuff is just super strong. We have 5 base bile. Oh, and he hits hard as fuck, guys, by the way. Strength 7, hitting on 2s, 5 attacks, sustain, +1 to wound, AP 1/2 damage. So precision on this guy is very, very scary. Okay, 5 base bile. So he gives +1 toughness and +1 strength to a unit. So you can add him to a unit of Legionnaires. The Legionnaires now are strength a ton. So strength 9 on the heavy weapons, +1 toughness, so T5. He's got a pretty good gun, anti-infantry 2+. So you can basically put him in the Rhino after the other unit gets out. That's one option. Or you kind of just like run him forward. He gets back up now at the end of the phase, so that was a huge buff for Bile. That's why he went up in points. He's now 100 points. But again, he just hits hard. Everything hits on 2s and units. He's just a really tanky character to bring in this detachment. Demon Prince. The Demon Prince 6-inch ore gives everybody covered built in, so that way you don't really care about touching the terrain feature for your entire army. Your entire army, 4 pinball save, cover, -1 plus skill everywhere. Fucking insane. And this guy's lone op 12, so he's going to be near infantry at all times. Then we have the Horon to go with the Masters of the Maelstrom. They're probably going to be with the 10-man. So you have 10-man Legionnaires, Psyker unit. You can't bring him back. But Masters of the Maelstrom, 10 Legionnaires, Horon, really hard to deal with. We have Cultist, Legionnaire. So 10, 20, 30, 40 Legionnaires, because we have 1 unit here, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units. So that's 4 different units leading all 40 Legionnaire units. That's why Creations of Bile is good as well, because Creations of Bile, you're going to be able to get some buffs to your units as well as bringing guys back. So they're all battle lines, so you're able to bring back D3 plus 1 or D3 models to kind of extend the ranges and just be super annoying. But 2 cultist units, the 3 extra Legionnaire units, 1 Rhino for who do you want in the Rhino? You can have the Lord in the Rhino turn 1, so that way you can move up 12, get out and charge. And then a 5-hand chosen brick with Abaddon. So just extra wounds, giving cover. You can try and shoot something to get the +1 CP. But yeah, you guys, this list is freaking nuts, and I cannot wait to try it. I'm going to try it with this and Creations of Bile. So let's test this out. I'm going to change members only live stream. Not sure how quick it's going to come over, but if you guys are new to the channel, we do a lot of battle reports, a lot of videos, a lot of tactical videos. If you guys want professional coaching in your corner, that's what the Patreon's all about. So head over to Patreon to support the channel and the Dirtbag Nation. Join the Dirtbag Nation, a bunch of awesome dudes. We have Recon Marine, Keevil, crushing it on the channel and getting a book out in July. So we have a book, first ever Warhammer 40k, but not about 40k book, coming out in July. It's sick. That's in the description below. We have the merch, which is the hats and the logos and all that stuff. And if you guys are members, you guys are going to continue over to the stream. Patreons, I'll be posting this over at Patreon as well. But guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for joining in, commenting, and let's see how this works. Members only live stream starts in 1 minute, so you have 1 minute to ask me questions. Get excited. 1 minute until members only. You're redirected automatically. Sick. Automatically directed. So any questions, guys, before we go over the Warp Strike Champions? This is going to be fucking insane. I'm going to pull this up on my phone because I cannot wait for this this attachment. Warp Strike Champions. There's 2 lists. One of them definitely going to be trying. It's, oh God, it's so good. Appreciate it. How often did Battle Shock trigger? So on turn 5, all 4 of his tanks Battle Shocked. So it was funny. It was funny. So on turn 4 turn 5, he couldn't do any actions because everything was Battle Shocked. And he was only at -1. So I mean, technically it was 8, but he failed all of them and just couldn't do anything. I'll join one day, dude. I see you in all the chats. All right, cool. So we are live. What is up, gents?